Good afternoon, everyone. Going to start with the session that is for geoparametric assembly. Before that, if you have any questions related to last assignment, you can ask them. Is there any questions related to the assignment or the previous sessions? Are you getting my voice? Okay. So if you have any question, you can ask, or else I'm going to start with the new session. Okay. So we are going to start with the geoparametric assembly. So for the assembly, you just have to go to the new, and there is the option in the new dialog box that is below the path assembly. Now you can see we have selected the assembly and the subtype should be design. After that, define the name for the assembly and select the unit from here. Click OK and select your desired template from here. So I'm going to select millimeter Newton second assembly design. Okay. So to create an assembly, you have to create the parts separately, or you can create the parts directly into the assembly. So in this session, we are going to see how we can assemble the components that we have created previously and how to recall them in the assembly, how to use them repeatedly, and how we can use some uh, motion in the assembly. We are also going to cover the assembly in the next session, that will be tomorrow. So first of all, to import the part in the assembly, we have an option here. In the model, we have the tab component, and in that we have option assemble. Just click on the assemble and you will be directed to a folder that you have selected as a working directory, or it will be a document. So first of all, to choose the part, you have to select the working directory. You can select the working directory directly from here, or you can go to the file and in here manage session and select the working directory from here. You go to the desired location where you have created your part, and I have created some parts in this folder. So I'm going to select that folder as a working directory. So if I go to the assemble now, the folder will be open automatically. We don't have to go to the location repeated. We can see we have the parts here. To change the location view of the parts, you can just go to the views and select which type you want to see. I want to see in the thumbnail view, so select that. So you can see the preview of the parts is available now. If you don't select the thumbnail to see the preview, you just have to click here, and there is the preview. Click here, you can see the part like that. but the thumbnail view is more appropriate, so select that from here. So these are the parts I'm going to assemble. So first of all, go to the assemble, select the base part that you want to define first. In the trio, you have to insert the parts step by step according to the order of assembly. First we have the base part, the bracket here. Click the part, click open, and here we have the part like that. So you can see there are several colors. You can drag this component in three directions, and you can rotate this product on the part in three directions also. So we have some degree of freedom, and we have to eliminate the degree of freedom. We have to restrict the motion of that object according to its functionality. So to define the first product, you can just simply press the right click, and there is the option default constraint. What do you mean by the constraints? Basically, to restrict its motion, we have to apply some constraint according to the motion. You can see we have some motion like that, we have some motion like that, and we have some motion like that. So how to restrict the motion? So you can see we have here some planes. These planes are from the assembly, and we have some planes here. These planes are from the part. If you go to the left side, we have the model tree. Here you can see there is the assembly. Okay, and all the parts will be placed here accordingly. If I just click OK, you can see in assembly we have a part right here. Okay, it is similar to the model tree that we have in the part. You can go to the part directly from here. Just click on the part from here. You have an option here, open. You can directly open the part from here like that. Okay, so close the part. Now you are in the assembly. So here is the first product. So how you can restrict its motion, its movement? Right click, go to the edit. You can press the Control E also. I'm going to define the definition of this product. So in the placement, you have to define its placement. You have to define its constraint. You can see here. Right now there are no constraints applied. It is asking for some constraint. You can see it is automatic. If you apply some constraint, it will automatically define that. You can restrict its motion by just selecting two planes like that. You can see the relation added is angle offset. You can also see angle offset here. You can change the relation. I want that to be coincident. You can see the two faces are now coincident on each other. Okay. So to define the next constraint, you can just click on new, and you can define I want this plane to be coincident at this. Again, this is angle offset. You can choose from here the coincident. So as you apply some constraints, you can see its motion is being restricted. So right now I have applied two relations, and its motion is restricted to only this movement, vertical movement like that. If I delete this one, its motion is vertical and horizontal like that, and it can also rotate like that. So we have to just restrict its motion. Select the planes like that. You can select the relation first also. I want this relation to be coincident. You can select that and add new. Select coincident. I want this to be coincident according to this. So you can see when you fully define the part, when you define all the relations, you can see there its color will be changed to golden, and we have a status option here that this part is fully constrained. So click OK, and this is the fully constrained object. To see whether it is fully constrained or not, you have to just go to the edit. Now you have to see the color from here, or you can see it from here. Okay. So what are the options here? I'm going to show you step by step. So first is the placement. We have to define the placement from here. Next is we have some joints from here. We will discuss the joints in the next step. Then we have some constraints here. We can apply some constraints. We have some flip option. We can flip the object according to the need. Like I want to flip the constant, I can. But right now I have fully defined it previously, so it will not work right now. So just going to complete that and going to delete that, import it again. So go to the assemble, select the part, click open. Now when you import the first product, you can just right click and set as the default constraint, or you can go to the automatic. We have the default here also. Click on that. It will be defined according to the planes of the assembly. Just click OK and everything will be defined. You don't have to specify each constraint on the first part. Okay, it will be defined automatically. Hello. Okay. So after that, to import the next part, we have the option here, assemble, and again select the next part. So how you know that where to assemble the part? So first of all, open the drawing. I'm going to open some parts from here. So here is the assembly. You can see that we have a fixed object that will be this one, the bracket. We have some movable parts. This will be movable. This will be on the rotational motion. This will be again in the rotation. These will be also in the rotation. So the next part we are going to assemble is this one or this one. You can insert any one part first. So this one or this one. You can select either one. So I'm going to import part, that is this one. Click open. Now we have the part here. So again you can see it has multiple motions, it has some degree of freedom. So we have to define some relation. So the assembly will work in different ways. If you want to just place the object, make it fixed, you can apply a simple constraint from here. If you want to if you want to apply some relation according to its motion, like I want it to rotate according to around this cylinder, so we have some joints here, we can apply some from here. Okay, so like that, we know that this part will be rotated on this axis or this part. So we have some relation. First is rigid, means it will join the two components, make them one. Second, we have the pin. Pin means it will rotate around an axis. Third is slider. Slider means it will slide on a surface or on the edge. And next is planar, or sorry, cylinder. It will rotate around an axis and it will also move along the axis. Like we have the piston. Piston moves up and down, but it has no rotation. But we can also apply here the cylinder also. So like that, we have several other relations right here. So right now, I just want it to make fixed. So you can select this face and select this face. It will automatically define that these faces are constant. So you can see it will be now movable like that, and it can be rotated like that. So after that, I just want to make it fixed somewhere on this face. So select two faces, and here you can see it is uh, a value is defined because the constraint that is defined automatically is constant, sorry, distance, and from the distance you can specify some value like that. Okay, if you want to make it constant, just use the relation from here that is constant, and there will be no gap between the two surfaces. Is everyone facing the problem with my voice? Can you hear me loudly or a very slow voice? Okay. I don't know. Everyone is uh, getting some problem around that because everyone is saying it's all clear. I have my mic close to my mouth and it cannot be more closer. Okay, I think this problem is with you only. So you can increase the sound of your system. I don't think so. The connection is good. I have the broadband from the Airtel. Okay, so like that you can. My voice is low. I don't know why we are getting this problem. Okay, let me check again. Wait for a few seconds. I'm just going to check on my device. Okay, is it okay now? Can you hear me properly? Okay. So, so like this way, you can apply some constraint here. So right now, I have applied the constraint, but this object is fixed now. To check the rotation of the object, you can just go to this option, drag component from here. Okay, and you will get some options like here. You just have to select the object and drag the object like that. But you can see this object is fixed now. We cannot drag it out because we have not applied any joint from the option. So go to the edit. Okay, you can see this is fully constrained, but we want this object to be on the rotation. So how to define the rotation? So I'm going to delete the relation. You can just go to the placement and select the relation from here, and you can delete them step by step, or you can just select the set and delete everything else. So our requirement in the assembly is that this part should be in the motion, in the circular motion around this face or this axis. So to make it on the rotation, to make it in the circular motion, we have to select some relation from here. So first is the pin. We can specify the pin relation. You can see if the connection definition is incomplete. To complete the definition, we have to define an axis alignment. You can see it is the axis alignment, and we have to make we have to restrict the translation also. So first, the axis alignment will be this axis and this axis, or we can select the faces also. Select, right click and delete. So we can select the face also, like this face and this face, and you can see the axis alignment is defined. After that, we have the translation. So you can see the translation is this one, and there is the rotation, but we need this rotation. So to restrict the translation, you can define the relation like coincident. Select two faces, it will be coincident, but it will be in the motion like that. Okay. Click OK, and if you go to the track component, so you can see that there is a symbol. If you turn off the display like that, you will see a symbol here that is defined that it is on rotation. Okay, this symbol is for the pin joint. If you click anywhere, you can see the part can be rotated like that. Okay, it is different from the SolidWorks. In SolidWorks, you don't define the joint. You don't have the joints option in the SolidWorks, but in the Creo, you have to define the individual joint to each and every part like that. Okay, so this is the part. This is the pin joint. Now I'm going to specify the other joint. I'm going to show you what is the difference between pin and cylinder. So right now I'm going to remove the relation, delete them from here. You can move the product like that. So select the cylinder from here. You can see in the cylinder we only have to specify the axis alignment. So select the circular faces like that, or select the axis like that. You can see this is on the rotation and it can be moved up along the axis like that. So now it shows connection definition complete also. Okay. So like that you can specify like okay. Now if you select the track component, you can rotate it and you can move it like that. So this is the difference between pin and cylinder. In cylinder, you can move it like that and rotate it around the axis. In pin, you can just rotate it. You cannot move the object. Okay, this because we have applied some relation to the translation. So these are the methods you can apply. So next, we have to import some object. So the other part will be this one. So this is the part. So again, I'm going to define some relation. So I'm going to define the cylinder again. Why I'm going to define the cylinder, I will show you. So right now, I'm just going to define. Right now, I'm just going to define the pin joint. I will show you why we have to select the cylinder here. So pin joint, define the two faces like that, and define the two faces like that. Click OK. Now you can see both the objects are in motion. This is the pin, this is the cylinder. If you define the pin to this object also, go to the edit, define the relation that is pin, and for the pin we have to specify the translation relation like that. Okay, so now we have two objects like that, and now we have to define the third connector in between. So this is the part that will be in the middle. So now we have to specify that this object will be aligned to this one and this hole will be aligned to this one. So how you can align them? If you just simply select these two like that and these two like that, you will not able to define the relation because both the holes, both the objects are not aligned. If you see in the view like that, if you check the view and see the object in the wireframe, you will see both the objects have some different alignment. Drag it like that. You can see the both the objects have different centers. So this one has the center here, okay, right here, and this one has the center around here. Okay, so those two objects should be aligned at the center somewhere here. So how can you align them with the at the center? So go to the edit, define the relation cylinder instead of the pin, click OK. Again, go to the edit, define the relation cylinder instead of the pin. So now you can see these objects are movable. Click on the part, you can see these objects are the movable. And now if you define any relation in between, the movable object will adjust automatically according to the relation you will apply after that. Okay, now if you import the other part, this one, and define the part according to the relation. So you can just define it that I want this to be constant here and I want this to be constant here. So you can see the object will be constant, will be made constant to each other, but if you complete the relation like that, you will have some columns also. So this object is again on the rotation axis and we have to specify the relation like that. So you can see we have applied all the relations, but it is again partially constrained. It is not fully defined because it can rotate in the direction like that. So how to solve these problems? So we know that this object will be rotated according to these objects. So we cannot just apply a simple constraint here. Okay, if we apply a simple constraint like if you apply some simple constraint like I'm going to specify this one, I'm going to specify this face to face like the constant. Now if we click OK and rotate the object like around the axis, you can see we have no relation with this part here. Okay, this object will have some different relation. It is rotating around the axis. Okay, so how to define the object that it will rotate with both the object and the motion will be transferred? To do that, go to the edit, remove the relation, remove everything from here, just move the object outside. So we know that this object will be rotated around this one. So axis to axis will be concentric and we have an relation, we have to apply some relation that is pin. It will rotate around the axis but its motion will be fixed. So go to the pin, define the relation face to face like that, okay, and define the phase for the translation like that. So there is the connection definition complete. If you go click OK, you will see that if you drag the component like that, again we are going to face some column. Okay, so we have to apply the relation to these faces also. To do that, go to the edit again, and we have to apply the second relation, but you can see this is already defined. We cannot define the relation now. If you select these two faces, you can see that this is a different color. If I select the face to face, it will be the connection definition will be gray. Okay, so what to do? So to define the second translation, you just have to define again the face to face relation. Okay, okay, we have got some issue here. Going to delete the relation and going to define the relation again. So this one should be to this face and this one should be to this face. So to add the second relation, we have a new option here that is new set. Okay, so we can define the new set from here, and with that we can select the relation from here, the pin and pin like that. So you can see it is not going to define that. So sometimes we will get these type of error. So instead of defining the pin, there is another option that is called general. And what the general do, it will automatically define the new relation. You can see I have just selected the general, just selected the surfaces, and the connection definition is made complete now with just a single click. If I click OK, go to the drag, select that, you can see the object can be rotated now with the relation applied. Okay, we're going to see that again how to apply the relation. We have applied some relation that is cylindrical. This is again cylindrical motion. To apply a connecting object, in between like that and apply the relation that I want this to be pin with this one. So the translation will be defined with this one. So here is the object. Now we have to define that these two holes should be aligned. So for that, just go to the placement and define a new set. Okay. So in the new set, don't define the pin, just go to the general and it will automatically define the relation that is required and the object will be made fully defined. Click OK, and if you just go to the drag, select the object, you can just rotate the object like that. Okay, got it? If you have any question, is it clear how we can assemble the object with some relations? Okay, so click OK, close. To select the object, you can see that this is in rotation but not in the translation. Okay, previously we can just move it along the axis, but now we cannot move it along the axis because if we move, it will its motion is restricted because it can move front and back. It can move along that axis. So at the certain point they will meet. That will be the intersection point, and we cannot move it further from that point. So you can see there is some gap now from here and from here also. If we go to the view, right, front view, you can see there is some gap here and here. Okay, and the gap is also defined automatically. We don't have to define the gap. So next, now we have this assembly. Now we have to apply some. We have to insert some pins here. To go to the symbol, select the pin, open, and you can see there is the pin. So the pin should be in the relation simple coincident relation like that, and we have to apply another relation to define it in the mid. For that I'm going to show the plane from here. Okay, so we have a plane. You can just turn the dragger off also, this one also from here. Okay, so I'm just going to select this plane, that this plane should be in relation to this object, the internal object, and the plane of the internal object is somewhere here. So if you can see that right now the relation is added from the plane to plane, that is distance. I'm just going to make it coincident. Face to face, plane to plane. You can change the relation also. You can see this is the surface F5, this is the Y mate. I don't want this one. I want the relation to be made from this one. You can see the object is inserted in the object now. Okay, you can change the relation or the face or the reference you have selected from here. So right click and you can remove the uh, reference and you can select the new reference also. Like that, I'm going to delete all the references from here, and you can see the object is movable right now. Drag it. You can define the references, like I'm going to select this one, and you can select any two reference, like we have selected this one right now. If you want to change the reference from this space to this space, you can just click. You can see two surfaces are here. So I know my part name is Y, so I'm going to just remove that relation. I'm going to use the other relation or the other reference like that. After that, just select the plane to plane, or you can just select the face to face also, that I want this face and this face at some relation, that is distance. So you can specify the value from here also. So I'm going to specify 15 value somewhere here. You can see there is a value from that point. So define the constant, or if you want to define the distance, you should know the distance. You have to calculate the distance accordingly. You can just move it like that also. So you can see it is around 9. Define the value 9, move that, and we have the object placed. So it is fully constrained, just click OK, and here is the thing applied like that. Okay, so you can define the distance, you can define the constant. So define accordingly. So this is the first relation. Now we have to apply, we have to insert a second pin here. We go to the symbol, we have the second pin, that is the smaller one. So here I'm going to specify the relation from here to here, and for the translation I'm going to specify the relation with the help of uh, the, the face. Okay, I cannot see the face right now, so I'm going to select this face, or select the upper face, and I'm going to select face from here. Okay, so you can see I cannot select the face directly from here. So what to do? So to select the face, we have to rotate the object. Okay, or we can just hide this object, but for that we have to go back, or we can just go to the view, go to the hidden wireframe. We can select different faces from here also, where we cannot see the object from anywhere. So for that we have to just move the object a little bit according to the relation. You can see that you cannot even. So here is the option, but we need the surface this one. So that is somewhere backward. So we're going to drag the component a little bit like that, so that we can see the face somewhere here. So here is the face. Now go to the symbol, insert the pin, specify the relation that this face will be constant, and this face will be in relation to this face. That will be the distance. So you need the distance. I know distance is around 15, like that. Here is the object. If you want to move the object a little bit outside, you can specify the value to 4.5, like that, or 4. Okay. Move the object accordingly, according to your value. It's okay. Here is the object. So now I have to use this object again. We have some options. We can just go to the symbol, click on there, and we have the other part also. We have the copy of the object also, or we can just select on the part that we had inserted previously, and we have an option here, repeat. So we can repeat the object. We have this option now. In that we can see we have applied two relations. I want to repeat both the relations, so I can just click here on the add, define the relation. So the constant I want is with this one, and the distance I want is with this one. So you can see the part will be inserted, and if you click OK, part will be here with the relation. So if the drag, you can see the object is rotated or movable. Again, there is no problem. Okay. Any question till now? How to find some relations? If you want to ask anything, you can ask right now, or else I'm going to move to the next command. Any question? Repeat. Okay. So I will explain the repeat in the some different assembly also. Just right till now, just see how we can apply some. constraint. Okay, repeat will be covered later in the. I have to apply some bolts according to on the flange. So there you will see the possibility of repeat, how you can use the repeat. Okay, repeat will have some larger coverage. So till now just import the object and apply some relation from there. Go to the assemble, use this one and define the placement according to your need like that, and define the second relation according to that. Define the value. Click OK, and here is the part like that. So after that, we have to import the next part, that is this one. Okay, so for that, go to the symbol. We have the part here, this one, open. So here is the part. So now you can see this is the part. This will be assembled here. Here is the keyway also. Okay, some flat face. So in there we have some flat face also. So you can just select both the faces like that, and you will have a relation like it is normal. I don't want it to be normal. The normal means perpendicular. I want them to be parallel. Select the parallel relation. So you can see the object is made parallel to each other. So I want to flip. You can see the parallel faces are in opposite direction. So you can just click on the flip. So you can see the objects are made parallel. So the face is here, the face is here. It will be done like that. Okay. Or I can just delete it. I can just apply first the circular, the coincident like that, and after that I can select the relation here, that is parallel, and select two faces, and you can see both the faces are made opposite to each other. Just click on the flip, both will be in the similar direction. Okay, so in this way the object is fixed, but it has a motion up and down. So to stop the object at a certain point, you can select two faces. Okay, but now I have selected two faces. You can see if I select the coincident, you will have the partially constrained option here. Why is that so? Because our object is in the rotation and this object is fixed. So if we apply a relation with the fixed object, that should not be applied there, because we need this object to be rotated according to this one. So all the relation should be in relation to this object. Okay, so remove the coincident from here. Select the face, like I want this face to be in relation to this one. So you can see this is now fully constrained, although we have some distance here. We can just move the object like that or define the value like that. Okay, so select the object according to your need. I want it to be at a distance in this direction, and this will be around 10. Okay, like that you can select, click, and you can see the object is applied, and if you rotate the object, the patient is there. So after applying a motion, after applying some relation, always check the object is in the motion or not. Okay, so that you can build and fully defined assembly that works properly. No, there is no concentric command, because in there, if you select two surfaces, it is checking that its axis, it is selecting its axis, and both the axes are being coincident. Okay, the coincident option is being applied on both axes. There is no concentric, there is no need for the concentric. Okay, it is similar. next object we have to insert is this one, open. We have the part here. So again, select the two surfaces. You can see that I have not applied any joint here in this part, and I'm not going to define any joint in this part also, because we have applied the motion here, and these two parts will be derived from these two parts. Okay, or you could have selected, you could have defined the motion to this one, and these parts will be derived from this part. So you have to apply some minimum relation, not everywhere you have to apply the relation to some limited parts, not on the derived part. So after that, select the faces like that, and select the face to be parallel, and after that, select the face up to where you want to make it coincident like that, and define the coincident from here. So again, this is yellow in color, it's fully defined. Click OK and go to the track and check that it is again in the motion. So after that, we have left single object, that is this one. Click open. I want this object to be here, and this object should be in the relation this one. So it should be coincident. Click OK and drag the object like that, and it is in the rotation. Okay, got it. It is a fully defined assembly. You can check the motion like that. So this is the assembly. If you have any question in the assembly, you can ask. Okay. So this is the main option in the assembly. After that, we have some. Now in the assembly, we have two approaches. If you have earlier take a note about the assembly, if you have seen some about the assembly, or if you have read about the assembly, we have two types. First is the bottom up approach, second is the top down approach. We have two types of approaches in the orange flag notification. Means that the object's position is changed. You have to click on the regenerate to remove that notification. Okay, you can see this is the notification here. Model is disconnected because we have rotated it with the help of rotate from here, drag component from here. You can just go to the regenerate manager and click the regenerate, and there is no error right now. Or you can just click here, this is also regenerate. Okay, if you drag it again, there will be a new notification. Okay, sometime it will show the notification. In the previous version, there was a light here. It turns yellow when you rotate, it turns green when you regenerate. Like that, you can regenerate and there will be no notification. Okay, so next, getting to the two approaches. That the first one is the bottom up approach, the second one is the top down approach. So, what are those? So till now you can see, you have seen that I have created the parts first, then after that I have created the assembly, and in the assembly I have inserted all the parts. That was bottom up. Bottom up means we have an assembly, we have its parts, but I have created the part first, after that I have created the assembly. Okay, so from bottom, create the sketch, create the part, create the assembly. This is the bottom up approach. In the top down approach, we can directly create some part in the assembly. You can just go to the assembly like that, and in the assembly you can just click here, and okay, you can just click here. This is the create option, and you can create a part directly in the assembly. Click part solid. Okay, the unit will be selected from the assembly. I have not selected the unit, so by default it will be in the inch. So click OK, and now define the plane where you want to create the component. So I want that component to be on the this plane. Okay. So like that you can go here and create the component from here directly. Okay. So I'm not going to do that right now. You can create the part directly. You can edit the part directly in this one. Close. So if you want to edit the part here, if you want, you can select the object. Okay. So there is the option activate. There is the option open. You can open the part. It will be opened in the new window. Okay. And to edit, we have the option to edit here. We can also apply the pattern here also, and you can turn off the visibility like that. You can hide it. You can show it like that. So we have these type of options. How to edit the part inside the assembly? So you can just go there, activate, and now you can see we have this part active right here. So you can see the tools here right now is the part modeling tool. We have shapes, engineering, editing, everything. So to edit or to create another shape, you can just go to there, find the shape you want to create. I want to create a circle here. Okay, define the object. You can also define the relation with respect to these ones. So right now I'm just going to define it like that. Click OK. Okay. So like that I have created some part, created some feature inside the assembly, and to go back to assembly you have to just go to the assembly and check this one, the activate button, and now you can see this is the part. If you open this part, you will see that in that part we have the new feature here. Okay, we have created this feature in the assembly, but you can see that it will be open when you open the part, it will be there. So this is the top-down approach. You can directly create the part inside the assembly, and in the bottom-up approach, you can create the object first, the part first, and assemble them in step-by-step manner in the assembly. These are the two approaches like that you can create. Okay, to create a component. I want to create a part solid. Define the name. I want this. Okay, I want to define. I want to use the unit from the assembly. So I'm just going to copy from existing, or I can use the empty. Okay, like that. Leave the component unplaced. You can create it anywhere. Click OK, and now you will have the tools here. So you can create a new part. Suppose I'm going to create a part somewhere here. So go to the extrude. You can see this is now I'm going to create a rectangular shape. I'm going to extrude that shape somewhere here. Click OK and go to the assembly. Okay, we have to define its position. You can open the part. Wait a second, it is hang. Wait a second. So we should have defined the properties first, the location first. I'm going to delete this one from here. I'm going to leave everything out except the plane. So I'm going to create a new part with part solid and the name. I'm going to place the object first. So in the placement you have to specify the reference plane. I'm going to use OK. So now you have to specify where you want to create the part. So I'm going to create the part here. Go to the sketch. You can just create the sketch on this face directly and click OK. Now you can apply any feature like that in here. You can see this is the feature. These are the values. Visibility will be in the same where okay, discuss again some getting some problems repeatedly day by day. So I have to just reinstall the software and there will be no issue after that. So I will cover the create part in the next section because in the next session we will have some limited commands, some few commands that how to repeat the component, how to mirror the component. So again we are going to cover some different assembly modes, how we can assign some different relations from the assembly. So for that we have to open some new parts or we have to create some new parts. I'm going to check the new part from here. So like that you can see I have some different files here. You can insert the part from different softwares also, like these parts are created in SolidWorks. I can import these parts also. I'm going to create a new file. Okay. So here is a new file. Just sorry, this is create the assembly file, new assembly, and going to use the template to be millimeter in second. Okay. So here is the file. So go to the assemble. Now you have to select the folder. So right now you can see I'm in the folder right here, but I don't see any part. So how to see the different software parts? If you go down here, you can see there is the file name and there is the type. Right now we have selected the type to be Creo files only. It is searching for only the Creo files. If you want to see all the types, just go above here. This is all files. Or if you are looking for some specific versions, like I'm looking for only for SolidWorks part, click on that. The part file of the SolidWorks will be there. If you are looking for a SolidWorks assembly, assembly will be there. So just go to the all files and everything will be shown here. Okay. So just open the part, open the file. You can directly open those files inside. Just click open or double click part will be inserted like that. So again, these files from the SolidWorks are similar products that we have assembled before. So I'm going to use some other parts from here. Okay. So for the other parts, I'm going to use wait for 2 seconds. Okay. So here I'm going to use some parts from the library and it is in the sharing. It is in the okay. So I'm going to insert the part of something to this very long. Okay, this one. So right click, go to the default constraint and you can define that. Okay, so this is the default constraint. So now we have to go to the second part. We have to insert the second part. So this is the wheel alignment option. So for that, go to the all parts again. This is the wheel alignment like that. So right now we have to apply some relation. So that object should go somewhere here. Okay, and then this object is in the relation, and now you can just you have to apply some relation here. So I'm going to use the pin, and for its motion, I'm going to select this to take it like that. You click OK. Now you will see that the object is in the motion like that. Click OK. So next, insert the component. Again, we have the component here. That is this one. So for that, define the relations again and use the pin joint. Click OK. And here we have the two relations. Okay. Now you have to apply some relation to further part that is in the pages. So this is just a representation and just directly add the relation to them. So I just want this to be rotated on this one. Okay. So it should be pin joint around this axis, around that, and this object should be coincident on this one. Okay, like that you can just repeat this. I'm going to repeat it after I imported all the parts for this one. It is green because I have applied the color in the different software. I have applied the properties. Okay, you can see this is of different color because the properties are applied from the different software. So it is just applying, it is just copying the property. So there is some difference in that software. The color is much more different, but we can apply the color from here also. So I'm just going to. You can see that there is no proper standardization. This is just for the representation. So I'm just going to define these two, and I'm going to make these two rigid and apply a relation like that with constant. I'm going to use them as a rigid. So in rigid we have option. We have to control its rotation also. To control the rotation, go to the plane. Now you can see in the imported parts there are no planes. So how to define the plane? Just click OK. Open the part. You can open the part like that and you can define a plane. I'm going to define the plane. So the plane should be okay. So we don't have any flat option here. So I'm going to just define somewhere here and going to use the cylindrical face and the angle should be 0 degree. So like that, you can define a plane with the help of a flat face and some rotation. It's okay, there will be the plane. You can define like that. So save it, close it, and there is the plane now. To define the plane to the inner part, open that, go to the plane, select the circular axis. You can see it will directly create a plane in the mid because we have two options here. Okay, but it is not going to complete this because we have to select the second reference also. So for the second reference, we have to create, um, something. So you can see we have some faces in here. Those are the straight faces. You can select the face. You can select the circular object. So here is the plane. You can just click OK. The plane is created. Save. So now you can just select the. You can just go to the edit, and now there is the rotation. I can just select the two planes, the placement, select the two planes like this one and this one, and both should be at coincident. Click OK, and both the object is now rigid. Rigid means they are one unit, one entity. They will rotate or they will move according to the constraint applied to the inner part. So go to the drag, select the object. You can see this can be rotated, and we have applied a pin joint here, so this can be rotated according to that, and it will be rotated around 360. Okay, yeah, facing some problem here in the software is going untracked. So we have to apply some relation here to control the rotation. You can see that the rotation is around 360. So how to control the rotation? So we know that the relation we have applied here, the pin joint we have applied here, that is allowing it to rotate around 360. So we can edit that pin joint. I don't know why it is like that. So edit the pin joint. So to edit the pin joint, we have to select the path, go to the edit. In the pin joint, you can see we have the axis alignment, we have the translation defined. Now there is the option that is rotation axis. This is the option. This is optional. If you want to define, you can. This is basically used to define the limit to the rotation. Right now, you can see this is 360-degree rotation. To control this, we have to select the rotation. We have to select two faces like that, and now we have the current position here. If you click 0, this is the fixed part. This is the 0 location. Now, if you turn it, I want it to turn maximum up to somewhere here. Okay, so in the rotation, this is the minus 33 degree. I want to take it up to 34. Okay, this is the plus 34. This is the minus 34. So select according to your need. So you can see the location from here. You are not going to set it from here. It is just for to show where is the plus, where is the minus. So I'm going to define minus 34 and going to define plus 45. So there is the limit, the minimum limit and the maximum limit. So minus, I'm going to define 34, and the plus, I'm going to define the 45. So this is the limit that we have defined now. Click OK. Now if you rotate your product or your object, this is up to minus 34, this is up to plus 45. So you can just rotate it according to that with that limit I have specified. Okay. So this is the shape, this is the assembly. You can create it like that. You can control it according to your needs like that. Okay. So now how to insert the object without going to import from here without importing it from the assembly. To repeat the object, we just have to go to the repeat, but you can see the repeat is not available right now. So select the object. After that, the repeat will be available. I want to repeat this product. Now you can see the relation you have added to this one is these two. So this one and this one you can select. You can define both the relation by just selecting those. Click the add. Now it is asking for the circular. So select the relation from here you want to define. I want to define the new relation to this circle, and it is asking for the phase, so I want to define this phase. You can see the product is repeated, and click OK. You don't have to do much here. So if you just drag the component like that, you can see it is in the rotation and it can be rotated like that. Okay, so again apply some limit here, or you can just add some relation in these two and the object will be rotated according to that. Okay, so how to add a relation in between these two products, these and these two products, so that the object move according to the relation applied in between them, or according to the motion applied to one object. So to do that, select the second object that we have brought later. This one was brought after this one, to go to the edit and now add a relation. Okay, I want to add a relation between these two, that these two should be parallel, these two faces should be parallel at any time. So go to the placement, define a new set. I want to define a relation that this face, not the edge, the face of this face. Okay, so we have to select the face. Okay, I'm able to select that face. Okay, so in the pin we cannot select. Okay, right now you can see I have selected the pin. In the pin you cannot select the flat face. So here I'm going to use the planar. So in the planar you have to select two faces like these two I have selected. Now you can see both the planes are coincident. Click OK. So if you go to the drag, you can see there is no movement now because I have created both the plane coincident. So we should not apply the plane here because it will remain similar on the plane. So we have to specify some other relation to go back, add it. So instead of planar from here, I'm going to use another relation. Delete the planar from here. You set I'm going to use like going to use the general, and in general I'm going to use the parallel, that these two should be parallel. Click OK and try to move the object. Right now you can see both the objects are rotating in the parallel direction. Both the objects are remain parallel like that. Okay, so close, and now repeat this one also. So go to the tire, go to the repeat, select all three, go to the add. Okay, first of all select the circular motion. I want it to be circular to this one. Second, select the face. I want to select this one face. Third, you have to select the plane. So for that, turn on the plane display, select the plane from there, and this is the object. Click OK. Now we have this object, complete object. If you go to the top view, okay, so you're going to select the bottom view. Okay. So drag the component, you can drag the component like that at a limit, okay, and if you go to the side view, can just turn the object like that, turn the tire like that. Okay, so we have two motion. It can rotate, it can turn around its axis. So these are the motions. Got it? Any question? How to apply some constraint from here? Okay. So going to show you some different options, different assembly. Wait for a few seconds. Have to open the assembly first. Okay, so here is the assembly. I'm going to show you. So select only the assembly, and here is the assembly. Like that we can show. So you can see this is a fully defined assembly. Again, we have some options here. Again, I have created it like I've shown you in the previous assembly. So you can see this is the assembly. It has some suspension like that. It can work with some suspension. You cannot see the spiral, so the thing here. So that we can show from the mechanism. Okay. Right now, if you go here, you can see this is the suspension system like that. You can see. Okay, and again, it is individual. It can rotate around the axis. It can turn like that. So we have to apply some motion. Both of the object will be separated according to that now. So for that, you can just go to the object like this one. So this is the wheel one, this is the wheel two, and you can apply the motion directly from here placement, go to the new set and define the new set that it should be general and it should be planar to both the faces. So it should be parallel to each other. Okay, to turn or drag the object like that, so both will be rotated according to the motion applied to one side. Okay, and again we have this, but we need this to be in this way. Okay, any question? You can see you can rotate the objects. Both the objects are again parallel. Both have similar relation. If one turns, the second turns also. If one rotates, the second will rotate also. We have to apply the 360 motion so that the object will not turn the 360 around that. We have to apply some rotation on. We have to apply some constraint. Okay. If you want to ask anything and question related to the assembly, the constraint, you can ask now. It is constrained very simply. We have first the object. So going back to assembly. So first we have this one. So this one. So this one is rigid or the default. After that we have imported this one, and this one is defined with the help of some coincidence, some pre-relation from here. You can see we have two holes. So we define the two holes and we have a face, define the face for the relation. So this one is the relation first, face to face, this one is the hole to hole, and this one is again hole to hole. So it will be fully defined like that. So again, we have to make a copy of that. We can do that. In the second step, in third step, we have these bolts. So we have simply applied a relation to a single bolt. We have made it fully defined, and after that, I have used the repeat command to create to assemble these three bolts also. So this is a simple option. Go to the step-by-step options and apply the relations. It is simple. There is no such hard and fast rule. Just go to the menu, go to the assembly, okay, and import the parts now. So go to the assemble, import the first part. So first part is this one. Right click, define the default constraint, click OK. After that, go to the assemble, import the second part, open. So these parts have some different options because these are the left and right parts. So first of all, you have to check which part will be placed in which direction. Okay, so let's see here. Okay. So this part will be placed here because we have some circular face here. So this part will be constrained like that, and we have to apply some face-to-face relation like that. Okay. And the other part will also be constrained. So go to the symbol, select the other part. Here's the part. So again, select face to face. First of all, rotate the part according to the position. And use this position to be this one. You can see I have applied a relation. So going to delete that relation first. So define step by step. You can define this circle also, and again define the face to face with confidence like that. This is a simple fixed object. Okay, you can see I have not defined the joint here. There is no joint in the parts. You go to the symbol, go to the next part. So the next part we have is this one. So this part is applied somewhere here. You can check that. Okay. So this part is joined with these two like that, and I want this part to be coincident at these two. Click OK, and this is it. So next you have to import the bolts. So the bolts we have is symbol, and the bolt we have is ISO 4762. It will be ISO 4762 and 3 into 12. Okay, so this one we need. So define the relation again like that. Click on the flip and define face to face relation like that. Define the confidence. Okay. Now to repeat the selected, put the repeat. I want to define both the face. You can see that all the faces are similar. These faces are on the similar plane. So you don't have to select both the options. Just select the coincident, the whole placement. Click add. You can just select like that, like that, like that. Click OK, and the both all the objects, all the bolts will be placed on the same plane with some different locations. Okay, so this is the way you just have to simply import the part like that, and you have to define its relation according to your need. So I just have to use the pin joint from here. Okay, so it should be pin because it's the motion. So here we have the part. Select the face to face like that. There is some gap. You can also specify the plane also, or you can specify the distance also. So the distance will be okay. So we'll have to select the plane that will concentrate it properly in this one. After that, insert the pin here. So the pin here is option. I think this is the pin. Okay. This one pin is for the downside. So remove the relation from here. This pin or from here. Okay. This is the other pin. So this one is the other pin. Just select the circular faces like that and select the face from where you want to make it confident. So this is the pin here. Like that you can create, you can assemble everything inside the assembly. Select the part, import the part, assemble the part like that. You have to apply pin relation and you have to apply this pin should be specified. If I want this pin to be at a distance, Okay, so specify the value according to your need and define everything. Okay. So you can just see that if I go to the track component, you can move it up down, move it up down like that. So define in the similar direction and you will get the result like this one. Okay, you can see now these are the properly constrained things. Go to the track and move it down. So to check the string here, we have the mechanism option. And you can see I've applied a string from here. This is the string, and if you move it, you can see that it will extend and compress according to the requirement. So any question? So this was it for the assembly. In this way you can use the assembly. In the next session we are going to cover the rest of the motions. We will not cover everything in the assembly. We will cover the main joints. We have covered the options from here. If you go to the edit, so we have covered the rigid, we have covered the pin, the cylinder, okay, and the general. We will cover some more like slider and planer and ball, okay, and we have covered this one. So you can see that distance was used, the angular was used, the parallel, the constant was used, and the default was used also. So according to the need, these constraints will be used and these will be also used according to the need. So I think all you know the gimbal. What is the meaning of the gimbal? Do you know what is the meaning of the gimbal? Okay. So basically, the gimbal is a product that is used in the stabilization in the photography. It is used to hold the camera and it is used to stabilize the camera so that the camera doesn't shake and it will rotate in the axis. All the axes can be rotated, but in a smooth way, not in the shaky way. So there is the gimbal for that. Okay, we have general that we have used. We have the bearing option, and it will be applied in the bearing for the balls to set in the bearing. And we have two weld options. We can weld joint two options. Similarly, the considering option. So we will use some limited options from here that will be used in the assembly. Okay, if you have any question, you can ask. Mm, because it for the day from my side. Okay. So for the assignment, we have the assignment for the day. Okay, Moment 7. Okay. So this is the assignment. You have to create all the parts. All the parts are given here. Okay. After that, you have to assemble this. Okay. And I think many of you know that what is the name of this assembly, this mechanism, and this mechanism has a motion transfer in the different direction, in the different alignment. Its name is Oldham coupling. So we have a shaft here that is connected to this one, and we have some slots in this one, and we have some a shaft here with connected to this length, and we have again the slot here. So we have a part here that will slide in between both of them. So we have to apply some relation here. First, we have to apply a relation here, a relation here. You have to make them fix these two objects, and you have to make a relation here also. So this will be made by you. You will cover this and you will ask the question in the next session if you face any problem. I think you will not face any problem because I have covered all the commands that you need for it. If you want to go question, if you want to ask anything, you can ask now, or else I'm going to close the session. 3D sketching is used in the SolidWorks. Before tomorrow midnight. Okay, you will get a day. Tomorrow midnight, submit the assignment. Okay, so thank you for the day. For 3D sketching. Okay, what do you want to create with the 3D sketch? For the 3D sketching, in this we have a sketch option. In that you can create only in the 2D, but you can convert the 3D of you can convert multiple arcs into one arc. We covered that. I will show you in the next session how you can convert multiple arcs into one. Okay, right now here is a simple option, that is the 2D sketch only. 3D sketch is used in SolidWorks. We have an option there for the 3D sketch. Its name is 3D sketch here. You can create the 3D sketch in any direction. Okay, okay. Thank you.